Hey guys, Saladifier here. Welcome to episode 3 of the mod making series. So this episode we're going to be making an item, but before we get into this, I want to explain this little acronym I came up to remember this process of making an item. So, you know me, I can't just let it be just add element item, name it whatever you want, just make the texture in MCreator. I'm not like that. When you do that, your mod's not going to turn out to be a very fun mod to play. It's going to be like, oh, that texture looks a little wonky. It doesn't really look as like polished as everything else in Minecraft does. And it's like, okay, the name will have like a chance of coming out to look a little weird. Maybe there's like no capitals where there could be capitals. And then it could be like, oh man, why isn't this iron working with, or why isn't this tin working with thermal expansion tin? And all that stuff can easily just be thrown out the window. It could be like, you just make it in like a quick 30 seconds that it would take to add an item, and then it's just garbage. You might forget to make recipes and stuff like that. So I created this acronym, TANTRUM. So what this is the first T here stands for texture. It's set aside because it's one of the most important things you can do. And because when you're holding an item in the game, the first two things that are going to come to your mind are what the item looks like, what the item's name is, and then you're going to think, okay, but why is this item here? What's its purpose? So its purpose we'll get into in another episode, because right now we're just on items. We're just on making the item, making it obtainable. So the first two things you're going to see are the texture and title. So that's why those two things come first. So texture, and the next one is title here. So make sure it has a nice name. If I go into my folder here, I already have most of the stuff in the mod textured out. But if we go to items here, what I'm going to be adding today is tin, and I might add a couple other things just to use as examples. So right there, it's already textured out. I love how it looks, and we're going to go ahead and add it in. So we have texture, title, and then the next one is add it into the game itself. So we're just going to follow through. We're going to go to item. We're going to call this tin ingot. We're making a tin ingot before we even make the tin ore. So tin ingot, properties, tin ingot, that's good to go. Make sure you pay attention to everything. So name and GUI, you guys know what that is. Rarity is essentially going to give it a color. So like a nether star, I'm pretty sure is epic, so it's light purple. And yeah, this has a list of colors right there. Creative inventory tab, this is where it's going to be in your inventory. So an ingot, for right now we're going to put in materials. I haven't officially decided if I want to have a separate inventory spot by going like, I've never actually messed with these before. So what would it be called? Forgot. Creative tab, there it is. I don't really care for it to have its own creative tab yet. Might change that soon. Max stack size, that's like snowballs have 16. Pretty sure buckets are 16. A water bucket, though, is 1. And all the regular items are just 64. So I'm going to leave it at 64. You can have 64 tin ingots. Enchantability, that is for mostly tools. Like as you can see here, it's books as well. But this is for... I don't see why you'd use this on a regular item unless you're going to use it like it's a book. So if you keep it at 0, it's just not going to like be enchantable. But if you put it as 1, it's a book. It can get enchanted as anything. Item destroy speed. So destroy speed parameter controls how fast this item destroys blocks. So it's not a harvesting tool. It's not a sword. It's an item. Destroy speed's 1. It's a normal item. And damage versus mob or animal, so you can make it have attack damage. So if you want to make your own sword with an item for some reason, you can do that here. Item use count, leave 0 to disable damage. So that's like the durability of your item. So you put in, say I'm making a sword. Like I said before, for some reason I'm using this item format instead of a sword format. I'd put in like 500. I have 500 hits with the sword. So there's no, I don't want it to have like a damage thing, so I'm leaving it at 0. Is item immune to fire? So that's if you drop it in fire, I'm pretty sure. Like netherite stuff. No, it's not immune to fire. But if you want to make something like netherite, check that off. Can destroy any block. Well, if it can destroy any block with this item, no. Because that means like you can break bedrock with it. And I don't want that. I don't want this to be able to destroy any block. Does item stay in crafting grid? So when someone breaks a crafting grid while you're crafting, or not break it, sorry. What? Yeah, okay. So like when you're making a cake, you need 2 milk buckets or 3. I think you need 3 milk buckets. And the milk buckets are left behind. So that's because the item is stayed in crafting grid. So Like, let's say for this tin ingot, I'm making it so like something needs to be coated in tin, and I put like a tin covered iron, for example, and I put tin in the crafting table and iron, but this stays in the thing, so it's not going to consume it. I would check that off, and it would say, okay, don't eat the tin, just eat the iron, and then make the tin covered iron or whatever. Damage item instead on crafting. So what that does is, playing off this, it'll stay in the crafting table, but when you craft with it, it takes damage. So if you want to like make a sword, like cut things in a crafting table, you can do that. Recipe remainder, make sure to enable stay in crafting grid. So this is like a milk bucket. Say you're making a milk bucket in the item and you want to leave the bucket in the crafting table. That's how you do that. Item use animation duration. That's like if you're animating the item, that's how long it'll take. Item, I don't really know. I've never had to use that. I've never had to use that. If you're making a normal item, you shouldn't have to use that. Inventory. So this is if you're making GUIs. So we probably will end up coming back to this. This is used in blocks as well. You can bind GUIs to an item. So like say I wanted to right click this item and it'll pull up like a GUI where I can put like, say I'm making a backpack. I can put items into the GUI there, and yeah, I can make a GUI with like item slots, put stuff in the backpack, take stuff out. Pretty cool stuff. And so then this is like the size of inventory slot is how many like slots of inventory it has. So like if I'm making a backpack and I want the backpack to have 9 slots, I'd put 9 slots in the GUI thing, and then you choose a GUI, say yes, it's 9 slots, and each slot can hold 64 items. So I think I actually skipped visual. Special information about the item. You can put something here if you want. If you want to inform like the user how to use the item, you can do that. But we're not really doing much here. So I could say this is tin. It's pretty cool. And I could say that, and like when I hold up the item, it'll just say like tin ingot. This is tin. Pretty cool. And obviously I don't need that. And then if I want to enable glowing effect, I can check that off, and then I can use procedures to show when it glows. And then I can also change the model. So say I wanted this item model to like be an actual 3D like ingot, I could do that. I could import the ingot JSON file, make it its own model. And now triggers. So this is going to be your procedures for the item. What this is going to do is you can make it, you can make it do stuff whenever it's right-clicked in air, whenever it's right-clicked on a block. All these things are parameters that happen that you can make this item do a specific thing. So say you want it to like strike lightning when you right-click it in the air. You could like right-click it in the air and lightning will strike right where you right-clicked it, if that's how you set the procedure. So that's all I have for the item. Let me make sure the name is right. Tin ingot, perfect. There we go. So now we have our tin ingot. All right, next thing. Naming, we know that named right. We were checking that rate as we were adding it. So, yeah, go. Sure. TANTRUM. So, we got TAN. Now the next one is tag. So, we're going to go add a tag. We did this last episode, so I'm going to pull up the required tags section, ingot/tin. And I think you can just, no, you can't. Okay. So, ingots tin is what I'm going to call it. So I called this one tin ingot. I'm calling this ingots tin. So I know that's what the tag is. Instead of a slash there, instead of it just being ingot tin, I am putting a S so that I can remember, okay, that's like a slash. S slash, you get what I'm saying. Ingots underscore tin. Well, underscore is not what we want, actually. We want that to be a slash. It will be forge, of course, because I want it to correspond with other forge items. Tag type is an item. Elements under this tag. I'm going to add in that thing right there. Now, here's the next part. How am I going to obtain this? So, like, recipe/obtaining. Now, since I don't have a block yet, usually now is when I would add the block. But before you go and click that block video, we're not over yet. I'm not done with you. I want to show you an example of using a crafting recipe to get this item. So, say this isn't tin. Say you made something instead like a wallet. So, you're going to want to call the recipe. For me, I am indeed using tin. So, I'm going to call this a tin ingot recipe. That's what this is going to be called, because then I'll know right off the bat, yes, that's the tin ingot recipe. I don't have to like second guess myself. So, registry name, recipe registry name. I've never seen that before. So, in the recipe thing, of course, you can choose crafting, smelting, brewing, blasting, all that stuff. what I would end up choosing is smelting, and then I'd make a second one for blasting, which would get so I can smelt the tin ore in either the furnace or the quick furnace, what I forgot what the heck that's called, but for now it's crafting. So I can get 1 tin ingot if I take iron, say. So like, no, I want tags of iron though. What's something that has a tag in here? So I'm going to quickly import a tag just so I can show you guys an example of using it. Log. Yes. Add tags. Log blocks. So if I go to tin ingot recipe, say I need some sort of log. So I can go to use tag. It will give me... Okay, so now I need to figure out the tag name for logs. Okay, get out of here. Stop it. Stop it. Log blocks, so it's just logs. Like all lowercase logs. So we're going to add a log here. Log. Logs. Wonderful. So now I use logs there. So recipe namespace, that's mod, of course. XP reward, so you can change that if you do like smelting. However, we're not doing that. So let's go back to logs and we'll say iron ingot just because that makes sense, right? So we have the obtainability. It does not yet have a purpose because we don't have tools or something to give it a purpose. But its obtainability will be this recipe temporarily. Of course, that's not what I'm going to finish it. I'm going to delete these two as soon as the video are over because I want tin ingot to come from smelting a tin block or tin ore block. So we're going to run the game and I will show you guys that this works with the crafting recipe. And keep in mind, you can use this sort of tag with tin. So like say you want to make a tin block, you can use 9 of this tag to make a tin block. So, is this game going to load up? Yes, it is. Wonderful. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, so I'm going to get a crafting table. I'm going to get my tin, of course. Well, actually, that's what I'm going to be crafting. Iron. So I'll get a ton of iron and a bunch of random different logs. We'll go bam, 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 bam. Oh my gosh. Music off. Bad music. Okay. So if I go like that, boom, tin, look at that. That log works. Does this one work? Oh, of course it works. Just, it never stops working, really. And then it seems I did not make this recipe very shapeless. But hey, we got tin though, so that's all that matters, right? Got tin. Yay. Alright, yeah, so that's about it. We added the item this episode. I mean, we technically had this last episode, but ignore that little fact because we got tin. Yay! So now that we have tin, what that means is we can add in blocks next. So the next thing we're going to add is a tin ore block, and I will also actually, yeah, we'll add blocks next episode, and yeah. Okay, so now that we added tin to the game, let's go ahead and add, I'll show you guys, like, that doesn't actually take that long to add an item. That was just me, like, over lengthening it. So you guys see we're, like, 12 minutes into the video, or however long we are. Oh, something smells good. We're 12 minutes into the video, and I want to show you guys that adding an item does not actually take that long. I will show you guys how long it will really take once you know exactly what you're doing and exactly what's going to be happening. So, let's go back to here. I don't need this. These two things I told you before, I'm going to delete them. Let's add in titanium. Okay, so I already have the texture made. So subtract that from how long this is going to take. So 3, 2, 1, titanium ingot. Bam. Okay, add texture, import texture. I'm going to need to go to desktop. I'm going to need to go to MCreator folder, mods, expansion pack, textures, items, titanium ingot. There we go. Add it. Good. Properties. Titanium ingot. Good. Common. Miscellaneous. No. Materials. Okay. All that's good because all that stayed the same if you remember. Inventory. No inventory on it. Triggers. It does not have a trigger. Good. All right. Tags. We know that the tag is going to follow the same sort of instruction as tin does. So ingots. Titanium. So ingot / titanium. And then it's an item. Elements under this tag, of course, are titanium, not tin. And I just want to make sure tin does have that. Yes, it does. I'm not going crazy. There we go. End timer. See that? Took 20 seconds. If I'm adding a simple item like that, it's very quick to do. Just add it in as long as the texture is already done. Look at that. We got the 2 tags. and then you'd add the recipe to it, which would probably take another minute for me to add with all the tags you need in the recipe. Very simple stuff, very quick. That's all there is to it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below, comment, share, subscribe, favorite, and all that good stuff. In next episode, we will be adding in blocks. So you will see next episode, I have a lot more items in this. I will add in essentially all of the items needed in this entire mod, except for the complicated things. And if you guys have any suggestions that you want me to go over in MCreator, like, hey, how do I add a model, like a sword model with a lightsaber, then I will go over that. I will show you guys how to make a model, and that would be its own video. So next episode, though, we're doing blocks. So thanks for watching. Enjoy the coffee. Peace out.